thought. As a matter of fact, in the earliest inscriptions that survive in the Indian subcontinent, it is there too clearly mentioned that there is the path of rituals and there is the path of dharma. And it says that it is the rituals of dharma which are even finer than the other path of rituals. Of course, there is absolutely no mention. You called it Indian just now. Somebody else may have called it Hindu. But there is absolutely no mention in ancient Indian writing about anything which is, the word Hindu of course does not exist. But otherwise also, what there is constant talk about is something which is dharma. And dharma is entirely common, as you know, to all the faiths emanating from India. And dharma is just your duty to all that there is around you. And therefore, your duty to yourself, your true duty to yourself in the process. So there is an understanding that there is a ritualistic path, and there is no contradiction or argument between the two. But it is also stated that perhaps the better path of the two, the finer path of the two, is always the one which is that of dharma. The one of renunciation of worldly desires has always been given a superior position. But the imagination that either Gautama Siddhartha or any of the Buddhas before him actually broke away from anything is a colonial construct. And very interesting that the way all this was done was sometimes so thoughtless. If you take a look at for instance, the sculptures of Gandhara, of Buddhas, which were widely appreciated by the colonial rulers, and are in many ways closer to Western traditions of art, so it was easier for them to appreciate that. Though they are not the finest of Indic art at all. Now if you look at them, you will find the inscriptions themselves will tell you. Very few of them are of Gautama Siddhartha. There is an inscription which will tell you it is Kashyapa Buddha or somebody else. But the colonial writers still call them the Buddha and Gautama Siddhartha. So even in the face of facts, it is, and this comes up again and again once you start looking at ancient Indian history from the inscriptions and from the primary sources. It comes up again and again that it is quite shocking how, for the sake of pursuing their own constructs, they would, set aside and not even look at the facts before them. So that is where this 6th century creation of Jainism or 6th century creation of Buddhism comes out. Of course, and it's also important to understand that all this, one of the key reasons for the difference is that that the faiths which the colonial rulers were used to, all of them believed in a God, and it was only one God. And if I have a God, then your God is not a God. There is only one God. Now, since what you're talking about here is only philosophy, and what you're talking about here is only the qualities inside yourself that you wish to awaken, to become as wise as you possibly can be, as graceful as you possibly can be, as generous as you possibly can be. That is all. So you are never in conflict with anybody else. If somebody wishes to awaken the Mahavira within himself, he is not in conflict with another person who wishes to awaken the Shiva, who wishes to become Shiva. So therefore, it's an altogether different world. And those contradictions, those divisions, those The need to contradict other people, the need to say that other people are wrong is not there. So it's all philosophic, and there is and an important part of it is that whether it is Jainism or whether it is Buddhism, in fact, what does every religious tradition put into the mouth of Gautama Siddhartha when he is born? His first words are the same according to all Buddhist traditions, and his first words are that I am one who will walk the path trod by others before me. That's the whole point of it, you see, giving up of all this individuality. So there is no focus on individuality. There is no religion. But of course, you have the coming together of some people who believe, who wish to awaken the same quality within themselves. So you have so many people who are interested in the Buddha. Of course, when you look at the great universities like Nalanda, you find that their sculptures which they produced, their bronzes which they produced, are of so-called Hindu deities as much as of Buddhist figures. So all that has to be understood. The universities did not survive. The Buddhist universities, as we call them today, they did not survive because the Islamic invaders who came in, they saw these as possibly passive fortresses, and because there were large numbers of people who were very disciplined and worked together, they saw them as threats. So the universities did not survive.
I don't disagree with the latter part of what you said, but I